So now we kind of, move on to the mentorship section. And we know that you are an angel investor. You are also a startup mentor. My question would be, is angel investing for everyone?
No, absolutely not. So I would say there are several reasons for that. The first reason is that unless you have substantial experience in entrepreneurship and business, there's nothing that you're adding to that whole bucket. Number two, which is purely a mathematical one, roughly 50% of angel investments go to zero in the first 2 years. And in the long run, all the money that you make is from 1 out of 10, and if you're lucky, 2 out of 10 investments. Which means that by the laws of statistics, that if you want to fall within that probability, that means you have to make at least 30 angel investments. Otherwise, if you make 10 or 15, it could be that all 10 or 15 of them go bust. So it's, I would say, even more demanding than investing in equities directly. It has to be pretty much a very substantial portion of your time has to go into making angel investing. Otherwise, you shouldn't do it. It's not for amateurs. It's even less for amateurs than buying stocks, because in stocks, if you make a mistake and you're smart enough to realize that you made a mistake, you can sell the share.
Liquidate, yes.
You can sell the share, you may lose 10, 20, 30%.
Yes.
In unlisted equity, you
very
can't
illiquid.
exit. You can't exit.
Yes.
You're just stuck with it. So the time horizon for investing in unlisted shares is at least 10, or on average, I would say 12 to 15 years. So it's for a really tiny percentage of people. Yeah.
So any interesting story from your startup investments?
See, like I said, it's a very specialized field, so anything I say is really only for that niche. But
So maybe, one time you were really, you had to take this decision and
I'll tell you an interesting
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
So there were these two not so young men who came to see me, and they had met, though they had the same surname. I obviously won't take names. They were not related, and they had met at a very prestigious, one of the most prestigious universities in the world, in the US. And they had this idea for a startup, and I said it sounded really interesting, and I would happily invest in it. And I mentioned a number which was not a very large number, and it was very early in my startup investing days. It was probably 2016. And they said, yes, but will you also mentor us? I said, sure, and I'd love to. And then they said, will you help us raise money on other platforms? I really liked them. I said, yes. And so I took them to an investment platform. There happened to be a live event shortly thereafter. I pitched for them, and I occupied the status of what was called lead investor. And within about 4 weeks, they were able to raise the amount of money that they... And they set themselves a 2-year target of reaching a certain goal, a certain business goal. And within about a year, we were well above 50%. But I said to them, now we need to start looking not just at audience and so on, we need to start looking at money, numbers, revenue, profits, etc. But by then what had happened was that they had started getting interest from venture capital. But they didn't have a clear business plan, and by now I was pushing them to have a clear business plan. Anyway, so they had a goal, which was that in 2 years we must reach a valuation of 100 crores. And about 16 or 17 months into this 2-year journey, they had an offer from very large global investor, and this person said, we are willing to value the company at 55 crores.
Okay.
And as I was a board member and I had certain rights, they sent the term sheet to me. And I said, are you willing to liquidate or take a fresh investment at a valuation of 60 crores or 65? They said, no, sir, our target was 100. I said, in that case, I'm not going to look at the term sheet. Because they're offering 55, that 55 won't go to 100. It may go to 60, 65. So I didn't even open the term sheet. About barely 2 months later, I had come back from dinner somewhere, and I saw a WhatsApp message saying, we've received a term sheet. And so I sent them a message back saying, I'll look at it in the morning. I'm quite strict about, going to bed. And so I opened it in the morning and I saw that they've already signed the term sheet, which actually they're not authorized to do without the investor director countersigning. So now I was a little lost. So I didn't comment on the term sheet. I said, you've already signed it, now there's nothing for me to say. So I rung up 1 or 2 investors, co-investors, and I said, they've got this offer at, it was not exactly 100 crores because of dollar exchange rate, some 93, 95 crores. So what do you think? Oh, it's great, it's fantastic, here with this. And the other, so I said, I'm not going to look at the term sheet because now all the other investors will be so happy. I'm a little confused because they don't have a business plan yet. I can see when a fresh investor comes in, puts 20 crores in, everything can go a little haphazard. And the fact that somebody who's been their mentor for 2 years, that they can actually sign the term sheet without consulting this person means already their mind is like gotten shaken by this money. Now they're enthralled of the money. So I left it at that. And then they sent a letter out to all investors saying that the fresh institutional investors, a venture capital firm, is willing to buy from investors at a, whatever it was, discount of 15 or 20%. Now, I've invested a valuation of 12 or 12.5 crores, something like that, around 10. And now there's this valuation of 93 crores. And even after the discount, it was still 75 crores or so. So
all within 2 years.
Under 2 years. So I went to them and I didn't reply to the mail. I said, that's not right. I'm a board member. I'm your mentor. So I went to their office and said, I would like to sell all my shares. So their mouths fell. They said, but we were hoping that you would be part of this journey. And I said to myself, but then you've got to behave as if I'm part of that journey, not sign a term sheet without consulting me. But what was also true was that the question I asked myself is that supposing I had not made this investment at a valuation of 10 crores, would I invest in this company at a valuation of 75 crores? Because not investing, not taking money out is the same as investing.
Right. There's an opportunity cost.
There's an opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost of that, let's say 75 lakhs, is 75 lakhs. It's not 10 lakhs, which I invested a year ago. That opportunity cost is 75 lakhs. And I don't think this business is worth 75 lakhs because they still don't have a clear. So I pulled that money out. And they ran into all kinds of problems because the investors pushed them really hard to grow the business. There was still no business plan. Then a year later, when there was no business plan, they needed more money. The investors didn't put it in. Then one of the promoters left, etc., etc. So point is that I was lucky to have that opportunity
Very true.
to exit.
Yes.
Doesn't happen often, which goes back to the earlier point that I made, which is that unlike public markets, exiting from startups is tough. So when you get the opportunity, grab it.
Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you soon in a fresh episode.